So this is part 4 for a normal distribution video for MGF 1106, and I had asked you already to work on the problems, and again, if you did not work on those problems, remember to pause and work these 4 problems out. So I'm going to go to number 2, assuming that the number of hours college students spend working per week is normally distributed. That's important. That's how we know we can use this. The mean is 18 and the standard deviation is 4. That's very important. So we know automatically that we're going to be able to standardize our pieces here. So remember, number 1 step, you draw. Number 2 step, you standardize. And number 3 step, you use the chart. I expect to see all of those steps on your paper. You can show more work than I have here on these pages, but this would be the minimum I would expect for you to see on here. So for A, B, C, and D on this one, we're using the same z-scores portion of it. So the first one here, A, says between 14 and 26. And remember that the drawing for each one of these is the same normal curve. For all of example 2, 18 is our mean, and it always starts in the center. That will always standardize to 0. You will then put on your normal curve based on the location around 18. So 14 is on the left, 26 is on the right. We are plugging it in to get our z-scores up here. So we plugged in negative 14. That gave me a negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. I plugged in 26. That gave me a 8, and then I divided by 2, which gave me a positive 2. I go back over to the chart, and these actually are pieces we've already used before, but again, 2.0 right here was in the green, 0.9772. A negative 1 is going to be over here, so a negative 1.0 is going to be the 0.1587. So going back over, you'll see that I took these 2 pieces, and anytime we're in between, we're subtracting the second smaller piece off, because remember the chart gives you to the left, and you are converting it to a percent because it's asking for a percent form. So my answer there is 81.85%. Going to B, we have less than 15 hours, so that is shading less than 15. 15 is below the 18, which is our mean. We again go into our z-score and we plug in the 15. That would be 15 minus 18 over 4, and you are going to round to the nearest hundredths place if you need to round. This is 3/4, so negative 3/4, which is the negative 0.75. The charts give you to the left of it, so you're going to look for the negative 0.75. We're on the negative piece, so negative 0.7. And then going to the 0.5, which is going to be here. So 0.2266 is what I'm using for pulling this off. And anytime you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it. That's what we pulled from the chart. That is correct because we were shading to the left, and it wanted it in as a percent, so it's 22.66% because we move our decimal place 2 places to the right. C is a little bit different in the sense that it adds 1 extra step to it. In a random sample of 500 college students, how many work at least 23 hours per week? But we're still going to do all of our first 3 steps, and we just add an extra step at the end because it doesn't want the percent. It wants, in a sample size of 500 students, how many? So this is going to be adding an extra step at the end, but we're going to follow the same steps we did before. So 18 again is my mean. I want at least. At least means that number or more, so that's 23, and we're shading again to the right. Remember, there's 2 ways to find this. You can find it the way I have it here, where we actually use the 1.25, which is the standardization. 23 minus 18, which gives me 5. 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. If I go to my chart and I'm using the positive 1.25, My 1.25 would be here. But remember that that is giving you the left-hand shaded piece. So the 0.8944 is actually this piece going all the way over. So that's why we subtracted from 1, because the whole piece is 100%. Do remember, because it's symmetric, and we want the tail, we can use the negative 1.25. So if I go back to my chart, and I look over here for the negative 1.25, that is going to be negative 1.25, which is here, 0.1056, which gives me this piece, 0.1056. Because it's the tail, that's the exact answer. So that would give me the same answer as 10.56. This problem doesn't ask for percent. It says out of a sample of 500, how many do we expect? So we take the percent and we multiply it times 500 in our calculator. And again, we round that piece to get our answer. So 500 times 0.1056 is 52.8. And so we give an approximate answer of 53 students. You're not going to give a 0.8 of a student. Again, at any time you need to pause this and rewind it, please do it. So example 3, we're looking at SAT scores. It's normally distributed. The mean is 500. Standard deviation is 100. So this is my standardization for this whole problem. X minus 500, all divided by 100. Remember, draw, standardize, which is your z-score, and then use the chart. So on number 1, we want above 650. So I am using this piece here. Remember, just as I told you before, you can either use the tail that it's symmetric to the negative 1.5, pull that number directly off of there, which is the 0.0668, or you can use the positive 1.5, but remember that that gives you the left-hand side of the drawing, so that actually is 0.9332, and we don't want that, so we subtract from 1. 2 says what percent of students who took the test have a mathematical score below, and again, really important that you're shading the right direction, so below 300. This is a tail. We're going to use the negative 2.0, because 300 minus 500 gives me a negative 200. Negative 200 divided by 100, which is my z-score of negative 2.0. So if I look at the chart, you'll see 0.0228. It is the tail, so we can use it direct. And this wants a percent, so we move our decimal place 2 places to the right to write it as a percent. What percent of students who took the test have a mathematics score above 380? So remember, 500 is my mean, so you notice that all of my normal distributions start with the same graph in green. 500 is the center, 380 is below, and we want the area above 380, so I want that whole piece. When we use the chart on this one, because remember we're going to do 380, that's 380 minus 500 divided by. So when we take the 380 from the 500 and divide by 100, we get a negative 120 divided by 100, which gives me the negative 1.2. I did have an error on that sheet, so make sure that you have that piece that I have there. When we flip over to our chart, remember there are 2 ways to find it. We can either look at the tail, which is the negative 1.2, and that, remember, is going to be giving us the tail piece, which we don't want to include, and the whole region is 100%. So that's why we're taking the 1 minus the tail here. I'm just going to look back over here and look at that. So the negative 1.2 is in the yellow piece here, which is the 0.1151. That's where I got that piece from. So we subtract from the 1 and we get 0.8849, and we move our decimal place 2 places to the left, or 2 places to the right, 88.49%. Number 4, what percentage of students who took the test have a mathematics score between 400 and 800. So that's the part that I have actually highlighted in blue. Our second step, so again, remember this is the first step. Our second step is to standardize it. So 400 minus the 500 divided by 100 gives me the negative 1.0, which is highlighted in blue. The 525 minus 500 gives me the positive, that's a positive, 25 divided by 100, which is 0.25, which is also highlighted in blue. Go to my charts, and I'm looking again at the 0.25, and I am looking at the negative 1.0. So 0.25 on this case. I look at 0.25, which is in the green here, the 0.5987, and the negative 1.0 is here, 0.1587. So remember that the 0.5987, which was from the positive 0.25, is the whole region all the way. The tail is what we got from the negative 1.0, which is the 0.1587, and that's why we subtract these two pieces and we get 44%, because we move our decimal place 2 places to the right. That gives me 44%. Draw your picture, standardize, use the chart. Every problem on the test needs to have those pieces. Now, the cleaner version that I had at the very beginning is the minimum I would expect to see. So let's go to our last example here, which is an automobile. Remember to draw, standardize, and use the chart. Every problem. So minimum I expect to see is what I have here on these pieces here, where I've again just used my calculator to standardize it, but I put it on my chart in blue underneath my actual values. But all of my all of my drawings start the same way, because my mean from this normally distributed is 62 and my standard deviation is 5. My standardization for every single one of these problems, so step 1 starts with this, step 2 starts with my standardization, step 3 you use your chart. So number 1, percent of cars are traveling between 58 and 66. So I want between 58 and 66. So that's my drawing first. The 62 is always in the center. From here we standardize. 62 is always at 0 because it's the mean and symmetric, because remember this is the distance from my mean in terms of standard deviations. Both of these, doesn't matter which direction, is 4 units. So because it's symmetric, it's going to be a negative 0.8 on the left and a positive 0.8 on the right. So if we look at our charts now, we're looking at 0.8 and we're looking at negative 0.8. So we use the 0.2119 and the 0.7881. Remember, again, if it helps, you can label on your drawing the 0.7881 is all the way. The 0.2119 is the tail piece that I don't want to use, and that's why I subtract them. And once I subtract them, I move my decimal place 2 places to the right. You can label what I did there on this problem, but this would be the minimum I would expect to see on your paper, is what I have here on number 1. Draw your picture correctly, standardize it, use your chart. You're showing me everything that I need to see in this piece. If you need to show more work, absolutely show more work. So on number 2, we're going faster than 70 miles per hour, and 70 miles per hour is bigger than our mean, so it's on the right. It is a tail, so remember there's 2 different ways to do it. If we do it the absolute way and we use the positive 1.6, we're going to pull the 0.9452 off of the chart, and we're going to subtract from 1, because the 0.9452 actually is from that number all the way to the left. Or I could use the negative 1.6 knowing it's symmetric, and I would have gotten the 0.0548 direct. So my answer, again, please be careful with moving your decimal places for the percent. It's 5.48%, which should make sense. The tails should be small. So last one here is the one that we have one extra step. So we're going to wait for the 200 cars for the end of the problem. We want slower than 56. 56 is below 62, so it's a tail problem. When we standardize this, 56 minus 62, and then we're dividing by our 5. I'm just kind of writing it down just to make sure you're clear on what I have there. This would give me 6 divided by 5, which gives me the negative 1.2. I can go directly to my chart and use the negative 1.2. And if I'm going to use the negative 1.2, it's the 0.1151. That is my tail. I'm going to now multiply that by 200 to finish it off. It is a percent is 11.51%, but if we're going to actually do the multiplication, it's easier to use the decimal form. We get 23.02. Rounding gives me 23. Please make sure the last page of your test that every single one of the problems, you draw it, you standardize it, and you use the chart. You need to show me all of those steps on those pieces.